Hello and welcome to another episode of Dover Plays Puzzles of Eternity. So in the last episode we were in the catacombs and now we're travelling to Brackenburn Sanitarium to hand in our quest, or to go and continue with this quest anyway. So let's get to that. The sanitarium is there? No? Where's the sanitarium again? Way over here. Right, okay. Here we go. Oh, we're in sneaky mode. Let's go fast mode. Be on with it. Okay, into the sanitarium. Retrieve Helig's research from the laboratory. Speak with Hedward Ithamaha if you wish to make an appointment with one of our animancers. So is the laboratory a specific place in here? I'm guessing it would be downstairs. We've not been down here before. It's still in Shroud. Is it over here? When we come? Who's this?
How do you do?
Bella Sage. A woman paces back and forth, her feet crunching on the soft red carpet. She gestures and mumbles to herself, shaking her head as she pores over pages of notes. She almost walks into you. Ekosi, here I am. Looking so hard for answers in my research that I do not see the Keith standing in front of me. What can I do? I'd like to know more about animancy in the Valiant Republics. It's a dynamic and respected field. Even the Bellreach incident did little to slow it, she shrugs. People in the Republics are more accepting of risk, less superstitious, ready to try anything that shows promise. But animancy also has the potential to do great harm. I'm not sure whether the benefits outweigh the dangers. This is true of any great technology, but cut a man open to move sick flesh, and there is a chance you kill him. Build a boat to explore a new land, and perhaps it sinks with you aboard. But surely these things make us better off, even though they sometimes fail. Something else you need? What do you do? According to my research grant, I study awakenings, sublimating pre-awakened souls has been one of animancy's greatest successes, and I am working on a method to replicate the process on awakened souls. But the truth is that I find few suitable subjects here. Waidwin's legacy has left plenty of awakened souls, but most are too broken for study. I fear I will return to Ruvua with nothing to show for my efforts. I am awakened. I've been recalling flashes of a past life. Yeah. Most interesting, but not the kind of awakening I can study, I'm afraid. I need someone whose awakened soul can be triggered with predictable stimuli. Souls such as these tend to manifest as alternate personas in the host. She gives you a broad, estranged smile, but I thank you for the offer. Fair enough. You're of no use. What is this? Strange device seems to thrum with power. Something in here? Here's a person. Moedred. Ah! An animancer scribbles feverishly on a parchment scroll while his free hand dances through the air, counting off unseen objects. His lips move in silent discourse. As your shadow falls over his scroll, he looks up at you with mingled perplexity and irritation.
Good day to you.
Does the name Helig mean anything to you? Helig, he was, a colleague of mine. He was primarily a necromancer, but he was involved in animancy too. He worked at the sanitarium for several years. I dare say everyone has heard of him. He left his post recently. I believe he was seeking new opportunities in the Valiant Republics. The advances they're making in animancy really are quite remarkable. Surely you've heard. Perhaps you haven't. I've heard you know a woman named Rowena. No, I don't get out of the sanitarium much. What are you working on? My area of focus is wichts. More specifically, how to cure them. What's a wicht? A hollowborn who received a transplanted animal soul during infancy. One of Animus's early efforts to cure the legacy, if not a successful one. They show signs of developmental abnormalities throughout their childhood, but when they reach adolescence they become aggressive, feral, but still victims in need of care. I see. Transplanting animal souls into children seems like an odd solution. We Animancers were trying to do something about the crisis, better than letting it swallow a generation of children. And despite the controversy, it only went so far because at first it seemed to work. People called it the salvation. Children that had never been responsive to any kind of stimuli suddenly seemed aware of their surroundings, of their families. The complications don't begin until puberty, but that's when the incompatibilities between body and soul take shape. Children become violent, ravenous. But we paid dearly for our mistake, I promise you. Angry mobs hunted down Animancers and burned down their homes, with them still inside often as not. People took to calling it the cruel salvation, and many so loathe us for it. But we wanted to stop the legacy as much as anyone. The public begged for our help, and we did the best we could. I still don't know if that absolves us. I see. So about Helig. As I said, he no longer works here. I've heard it differently. Just what are you insinuating? If this is your idea of a joke, I assure you it's a very poor taste. So you didn't sink a blade into his chest and dump him in the catacombs. He'll be relieved to hear it. How could... Very well, yes, I killed him. I killed that beast because nobody else had the spine for it. He was a madman. Years of perverse experiments, twisting healthy souls, torturing damaged souls, and for what? He flayed the essence of Glanfahan indigents for his amusement. If the public had known half of his deeds, they'd have razed this place to the ground. He used the sanitarium to disguise his own sick proclivities. He brought shame on all of us and put the entire discipline at risk. I regret nothing. Anyway, now you know the whole grisly story. Helig's soul returned to his corpse through sinister magic. He wants revenge. No doubt, but now you understand why I killed him, why someone had to. He said you stole a grimoire from him. His grimoire? What's that madman been telling you? He said you kept it in that trunk. Over there. You've been misled. There's no grimoire here, and Helig's never intended you to find one. That wretched thing has an unsatiable hunger for blood. Thank you for denying him. I hope I can convince you now to return and slay him once for all. He has something I need. I don't know what he's promised you, but he's already lied to you about the grimoire. I don't have it. If what I've told you about the evil, deceitful man hasn't swayed you, I don't know what else to say. I trust him at your own peril. But there's something in this chest. In a corner of Moedred's lab rests a large weathered trunk. It seems likely to contain something important, if only by virtue of its size. Examine the trunk more closely. Nothing grabs your attention except for the large padlock on the front. Whatever this Animancer keeps in here, he does not want anyone else to have or see. Examine it closer again. No. Kinda scared to open the trunk. Let's leave it alone for now. Let's talk to Moedred a bit more. Just looking around. Okay. Wait.
Greetings.
Can we talk more about Helig? You killed him to save your own reputation. The reputation of the whole discipline, rather. You realise there are groups in this city looking for an excuse to have all of us hanged? I won't see the knowledge we've worked so hard for lost because one man's madness. He used the sanitarium to say, yeah, I've said that. Right, his soul returned to his corpse. I'll consider it. Consider also the kind of man he is and the kind of things he's capable of. Don't trust him. Just scroll of burst summer flame. Oh, we've been caught stealing. What a shame. Let's see what else is down here. Sometimes we get people in here trying to make trouble for the animators. Wouldn't mind being better armed, so what if it makes the clients a little nervous? I'm going to require a proper key for those doors. Open the trunk, or not open the trunk. Open the trunk. A heavy lock holds the trunk shut. It's too sturdy to break. The mechanism looks too complicated to pick. You'll need to find the key. I have the key. But I have the key.
Welcome.
Ah, fine, I'll finish him. I didn't really want to. I can't remember what it is that he has that we want, but there was something. Let's check the log. So we're searching for... right, okay, so we met someone, the person at the top. He was looking for this Rana. We went in there, and the Helig, the wizard who killed Rana, he claims to know where she is, but demanded a favour. Had to get Grimoire. He confessed, but he also explained that Helig was a vile, dangerous man. I could continue helping Helig, or I could return to the catacombs and finish what Moedred started. Resolved to finish Helig once and for all. Okay, fair enough. What? A well-maintained statue of a middle-aged man presides over the room, looking down, unblinking over the bustle of harried academics pestered by the hopeful desperate. Strong warmth emanates from it that you could sense from across the room. There is a human soul stored beneath the stonework. You feel its attention turned towards you. It has been some time since a watcher graced these halls. His voice echoes deeply, rumbling the floor beneath you. I am envious of your natural insights, traveller. I can only imagine how it might have helped my work in life. Now, what it is that has brought you to my sanitarium? Yeah, Moedred. Curious as to how you've come to be in your present state. In the statue, you mean? Well, I was old, and it seemed wrong to me, a lifetime spent in pursuit of discovery, only to lose it all in death. Somewhere, someday, I would wake up in a new body none the wiser, and pursue a different course entirely. All that experience wasted. If we are ever to unearth the principles behind our existence, it will be in spite of our condition. Of that I am quite sure. To live on as part of something I helped build seemed to me a better legacy than what nature had in store. The transfer itself was quite simple as our techniques go, and for that I am grateful. Playing with souls is far easier to accept when they are not your own. I do miss being able to make an active role in the scholarly efforts here. Now and again one of my animators will humour me and consult over some problems, but they are a jealous breed and are too often afraid to collaborate. If you are considering it yourself, I can tell you that it isn't for the easily bored. Tell me about the sanitarium. A history lesson. That is a rare pleasure. Most come in here only concerned with cheating death in one way or another. We are an old institution as Irewood goes. This is our 94th year. As with many cities, the growth of Defiance Bay brought with it a host of problems. One of the worst was that those born with, shall we say, ill-favoured souls came to populate its streets in droves. Thus the sanitarium. Brackenbury was a natural fit. It was growing, but there was also a lot of money here back then. This place owes its survival to the curiosities of the wealthy more than anything, I think. Our founding came at a time of great suspicion in animancy, much like today. So much progress has been lost to the mishaps of few careless practitioners. But in time it was forgotten, as all things are. Since then we have been at the forefront of animancy's resurgence. We have played host to many gifted researchers and pushed the boundaries of our knowledge in ways never thought possible. Some of the first safe transferences were done here, and we have pioneered work in soul purification, lineage analysis, preservation. It's really quite a list, if you'll pardon my pride. Today I can't say it's exactly the same. There's been some push to shut us down. It comes from Darwood's more excitable citizens, denisers, whose minds are more passionate than thoughtful, I'm afraid. People see this legacy, and they see it involves something they don't understand. So it's natural for them to suspect people whose understanding exceeds theirs. It looks to them like we're hiding something. We have a representative in the palace this very moment, defending the entire science of animancy at a hearing before the Duke. Absurd as it sounds. If it does not go well, it could be the end of animancy in Darwood. I fear Eivor may be swayed by all this unrest, irrational though it may be. We shall see. This man's soul was torn asunder by a bjork. As you can see, the patient is unresponsive, common after soul trauma. The animancer places a small stone upon the patient's forehead. A portion of his soul was recovered near his body. We used this stone as a transfer. Can you hear me, Oswin? The patient's eyes slowly open before a panicked, wild expression washes over him. Unfortunately, the extended dissociation has permanent side effects. The patient becomes more agitated, grunting and moaning as he tugs at his bonds. With further research, we are confident that we will be able to rehabilitate patients like Oswin. The head warden of the sanitarium is a statue, quite remarkable. They say the worst of the patients are kept locked up below. Everlasting life. Imagine the possibilities. Sable is set with an assortment of leaflets and booklets with titles like Practical Benefits of Animancy and Soul Adjustment for the Well-Adjusted Soul. And there's a book here. St. Moedred, Farmer Become God. Not too interested in that book. Okay, so I guess we're going back to oh, there's someone to talk to, Verna. Oh, it's the soul. Not just now. Done lots of reading so far this episode, so I don't really want to do any soul searching right now. It's another book. Who would have guessed there's books in the bookcases? The Midwife's Memoirs. Sam to Woodica. The most unfortunate tale of Favia and Bernat, a Valian tragedy. Nasty Duck Poetry, a compilation. No grimoires hiding in the bookcases, so I guess we'll be off. Okay, so we're going to go back to Copper Lane and back to the catacombs and back to Helig. Let's see what he has to say about it all. Okay, and the map. Oh yeah, the catacombs are just here, so that's fine. Into the catacombs we go. Oh, that's cool. Some of the people you meet and fight in the world can be taken prisoner and put in their stronghold. I wonder if that's true also of like spirits and deity type people. Where was he? Oh, what's that? Oh, lesser black ooze is down there. Some ooze plasma. Where was he again? He was way up here, wasn't he? Yep. As long as nothing else has respawned in this. In the catacombs, doesn't seem to have. Here he is. Helig of Thane. Moedred told me about your experiments. I can't let your research continue. I spoke to Moedred, he doesn't have your grimoire. There's not much fun in a joke if you have to explain it, is there? If you can't fulfill my need for vengeance, then you'll have to serve another purpose. I'm afraid a fierce hunger was awakened along with me. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna fight him anyway. Right. Ragnar, do battle. You can shoot him. You can also shoot that. You can fight that. And you can fight that one. Right, how's it going here? Okay. No, not that. Alright, you can switch Grimoire and get more spells back. I see. Grimoire Slam. Arcane Assault. Let's do that. Aeloth's endurance is low. Get out of there, Aeloth. Well, exactly. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Why Aeloth's endurance became so low. Helig's pretty much down. Kinda. Okay. So you just stay out of this for a bit.
Following your lead.
There we go. That's good. So I have slain the undead wizard Helig for good this time. There's no sign of Roanna, but perhaps I can find a clue in his chambers. So let's loot all the things. A bone. Right, Helig and Reverend. So we've got a bone, we've got a soulward amulet, a fine robe, Helig's grimoire. He had it on him all along. And a fine scepter. Very good. A soul prowls within the bloodstone like a caged Stelgar. It's filled with a fierce, relentless energy. Who are you? You see an image in your mind of a woman in heavy leather armour bearing twin daggers. Next to her is a man, young and handsome, who calls her Roanna. The vision shifts to a windswept plain next to a lake. 50 men and women in matching leathers lay dead, their bodies contorted and deformed by some sinister sorcery. Roanna falls among them, her body collapsing next to the young man you saw earlier. She's too weak to speak, but the name Dalton appears in your mind. That name rings a bell. A lone figure strides across the battlefield, barely bothering to step over the corpses. Oh, that was the guy upstairs, Dalton. His eyes are filled with an unnatural light and fixed on Roanna. He reaches out to her, and what little life remained in her body departs. When he takes the amulet from around her neck, you feel her anguished soul trapped within it. With a final contemptuous glance at the fallen Dalton, the man departs. Dalton sent me to find you. The soul pulses with warmth. It fills your mind with memories of a young man who's both bold and generous, but fury and despair gnaw those images away until all you can feel are cold crimson walls pressing against you and something loathsome feeding off of you as the years fade into decades. What do you want? You see an image of the amulet shattering and the soul inside rising and dissipating among the stars. Farewell. Return to Dalton and Copperlane. Okay.
Indeed.
Her soul wants to be set free. But from that, can I expand this? No, I can't. I want to expand. So, did Dalton kill her? 50 men in. Roanna falls among her body collapsing next to a young man you saw earlier. She's too weak to speak, but the name Dalton appears in your mind. A lone figure strides across the battlefield, barely bothering to step over the corpses. So she was standing beside Dalton when she fell?
Of all the things I've gotten used to, food was the hardest adjustment.
I quite agree. Deer wouldn't oversalt everything and drown it in sauce.
And they burn out all the flavor. Nothing like a raw deer flank.
Where was it? A lone figure strides across the battlefield, barely bothering to step over the corpses. His eyes are filled with an unnatural light and fixed on Roanna. He reaches out to her and model life. So, with a final contemptuous glance at the fallen Dalton, the man departs. So, Dalton had fallen too, but wasn't dead. Evidently. Because he's here. His tired eyes brighten. Did you find her? Yes, but not as you expected. Roanna used to wear this. Where did you get it? From Helig, who's kept her soul trapped inside it for decades. It's time to set her free. Dalton's eyes widen in horror. No, please! After searching for her for so long, just to have her close to me, to visit her in my dreams, that would be enough. Enough for you, but what about her? If you keep her trapped in this amulet for the sake of your own comfort, you're no better than the wizard who imprisoned her. Yes, intellect 13. You're right. Please, let me do it. He draws a club with a trembling hand and crushes the amulet. As the gem cracks, you feel essence rush from it. Thank you for showing me reason. Perhaps she'll wait for me in the next life. By the flame, she won't have to wait long. Please take this. He handed me the club. It's from my old adventuring days. I think it's time I finally let them go. Hey, we gained experience. Quite a bit of total quest experience. 3744. We also got another 414 there. And a that was earlier. Wait. Vessel bomb was added. Silver added. Blah 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 blah. Alright, okay, that's a different log. Party has gained an item. Deal Iwin Dibata. Inventory. Deal Iwin Dibata. A club. 11 to 15 crush. Meh. We have worse things. Can wear that amulet. That's cool. That looks good for him. Okay, so now we've completed that quest. We're going to call this the end of this episode. So I'll thank you for watching. Please remember to hit like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Now remember, Pillars of Eternity videos will go up every Wednesday from now on, 6 o'clock UK time. And I shall see you in the next episode next week. Thanks for watching.